everyone, I'm Chelsea Butler, Executive Editor of KBB, and this is episode 9 of our new podcast, From the Tap. Today, I'm welcoming the winners of our 2021 Person of the Year initiative. As I'm sure you know, our overall winner is Cheryl Kees Clendenon, owner and lead designer of In Detail Interiors, and she is with us today. Thank you for joining us, Cheryl.
Hi, Chelsea. I'm happy to be here.
And our praiseworthy picks include 7 industry go-getters: Sarah Bernard, Richie Bro, Jonathan Brill, Patricia Davis-Brown, Sarah Robertson, Markey Tuckett, and Nick Vanderhoevel. We are lucky to have 5 of those 7 picks with us today, so thank you all for joining us as well. We wanted to give this year's winners a closer look so you can get to know more about their accomplishments and how they are helping our industry. So without further ado, I met Cheryl during one of our annual editorial advisory board meetings at KBiz several years ago, and since then she's been hugely supportive of KBB as well as other designers in the industry. She's always sharing her new project photos with me as well as those of her peers, and during the pandemic she became an expert on the Paycheck Protection Program and used her skills to help others apply for this necessary benefit. The designer's passion for small businesses and helping others in her industry succeed are why she was chosen for this award. So Cheryl, can you share with us when this desire to help out your peers in the industry started and how it's grown?
Sure. I think it was probably, truthfully, some of the crazy things I kept seeing in these Facebook groups that motivated me to want to talk more about the running of a business. I've been in business for a very long time, myself, nonstop, 21 years nonstop, full time with a team since year 2. So, I think too, before that, I was in radio selling an intangible then, and we're selling intangibles now in a lot of ways too, other than the fact that we may sell a kitchen and a bathroom. It's still, a lot of it is our design savvy. So I think that there was a lot of lack of good basic business information, as well as the marketing part of it, not really understanding how to connect with the right clients and that sort of thing with a lot of people. And that is that's my strong suit. That's always been my strong suit. I look at it like this. I'm a really good trainer and have been ever since I was in management in radio. But I'm terrible as a manager. I suck as a manager, but I'm a great trainer. There's a difference. There really is a difference. So I wanted to be able to help as many people as I could. And it just started out relatively organically, working with people on budgeting and setting goals and things like that. I'm very systematic about it. And it's helping them grow their business. No one's going to hire me to downsize. That's not, I'm a growth oriented coach. If you want to look at it that way, I'm definitely like moving forward, growing, increasing your brand, the whole 9 yards. That's where I go. So that's kind of how it started.
Can you tell us how you were able to help small businesses during the pandemic?
Yeah, I think that was sort of one of those things where I had heard on a couple of podcasts some early information from CPAs even that was incorrect about the PPP loan. And I think that it was giving people an idea that they didn't qualify. And a lot of times for these kinds of things, our type of business doesn't qualify. So I understood it. So what happened is I went down a very, very deep rabbit hole and actually read the bill and then kept up on it. So when I read the bill, I was like, wait a minute, I qualify, this person qualifies, individual small businesses qualify. And I think that a lot of people that maybe weren't working full time or maybe their business, wasn't very big or whatever, were thinking that they didn't apply. So then I started talking about it. Some would say nagging about it. And I talked about it a lot in my own Facebook group, Small Business Think Big. And I kept pushing people to look into it when they would come up with some excuse about, well, I don't qualify because of this. No, that's wrong. I've read the bill. So instead of relying on things I just read on the internet, because there was so much confusion about it, I think everybody agrees that it's probably still confusing to a lot of people, that with them able to go to somebody, it just helped. I think that was the real impetus. And then I would have people tell me that, oh, my husband has this type of business, and he went and talked to his boss about it, and they were able to apply too. My cabinet maker was able to apply. There was a lot of people locally as well, but most of my reach came from the Facebook group. So I'm pretty proud of that, because I think it helped a lot of people kind of bridge that gap in that uncertain time. It definitely helped us.
Can you share with us a lesson that you've learned throughout your career?
Oh boy, that would take like an entire podcast and a half, I think. But I think that one of the things that I really try to focus on people, and that I've been doing since day one, is knowing my cost to be open number, knowing what I have to do, and setting goals. When I was in sales and marketing and radio, goals were a big part of our motivation. And that, to me, like, everybody needs a goal. So everybody in my firm, including people that just handle accounting information, have set goals. And I think that if you set a goal, you're more likely to get to it. And I'm talking about hard financial goals, not just, oh, I'm going to grow my business, or, oh, I'm going to make $100,000, or, oh, I'm going to make $300,000, or whatever. It's setting the goal and then turning around and making a roadmap to get there. And I think everybody has read this or heard this or said this, at some time, but I don't think people always do it, especially small business entrepreneurs, because they're so busy running the business and being the sometimes lowest paid employee of the business, that they don't really stop to think about their financials. And I think this is really important. No matter how busy you are, you need to plan and understand that. So I think starting with knowing exactly what you need to come up with every day before you get paid a penny, you need to know those kind of things. So what I would say is getting your business in order really is important. And I think my background for Gannett was a big company, and being a manager of people primarily older than I was at the time really helped me focus on that end of it, because we were running little mini businesses. I was responsible for this revenue, and I had to figure out ways to get to that. And that just transferred that into my business. And I think that's why I've been able to grow every year more than we probably sometimes can handle. So that's it. Know your business.
Got it. Thank you so much, Cheryl. So I'm going to move over to Jonathan Brill, who's the president and founder of Amityville, New York-based Infinity Drain. Jonathan's innovative donation ideas for his community culminated with the onset of the pandemic and are still being developed and implemented more than a year later. Jonathan, you were involved in donating masks that led to fostering a variety of programs with different organizations last year. Can you speak to that and how it progressed?
I can, and thanks for having me, Chelsea. It's an honor to be here, part of this team and crew. When the pandemic hit, the first thing after we got our house in order, and meaning our factory here, made a plan, we realized, how can we help? And we realized there was such a deficiency in masks. And through some of our business connections, we were able to land masks from overseas. It was a challenge at the time. We were logistics experts, and a lot of the major routes like FedEx, DHL were clogged up. And we were able to fast track commercial cargo space and cubic volume. So we were able to land about 120,000 masks. And amongst the business community locally here on Long Island, we, at a low cost, sold our masks and realized a small profit. Quickly realized we couldn't just donate masks to the places we wanted to, the police, the hospitals. There were certain standards and protocols. So as we continue to sell, we said, well, why don't we take this money and donate that to those in need? And we uncovered a major place of food insecurity locally on Long Island. It was a tremendous eye-opener to see how much insecurity there was locally and how much there was a need for food rather than masks. So by selling those masks, we had a profit, and we turned that into an opportunity of food and donating cooked meals locally.
So with that said, can you give us an update on your involvement with Mission Belly Full and what exactly that is?
Absolutely. And so by donating, one of our marketing tools is a barbecue trailer, and we've had that at the Kitchen and Bath show numerous times. We have a part-time chef that was running that trailer, and during the pandemic, she was displaced. So through the funds that we had and the funds that we can donate, we created a charity called Mission Belly Full. And our mission is that no one in our community should go hungry. And to date, this year, we've donated over 9,000 meals in the year 2021. And we continue to donate those meals 5 days a week. We have a working commercial kitchen, not 8 to 4, I should say. Our chef Mabel is cooking and donating food to veterans, to homeless shelters, to churches, to women's shelters, to sober living homes, and anywhere else we can uncover, including weekend meals for schools. So we work hard, and really it's part of that philosophy of conscious capitalism that we subscribe to. We feel that if all business owners did a little bit more, we could all make a big difference in this world and our community. So let's start locally. And that's something I felt passionate about and continue to feed that.
That's awesome, Jonathan. Thank you. I'm going to move over to Patricia Davis Brown, who's owner of Patricia Davis Brown Designs, LLC in Vero Beach, Florida. Her firm was hired by a second luxury home developer, increasing sales by 50% during the pandemic, and she believes the younger generations are the best independent workers. Patricia, can you please share how you've been able to support those younger generations coming into our industry?
Yeah, I mean, I just find that they're so anxious to get their careers started. I've been in this industry for 37 years, a long time, and I've, had, unlike Cheryl, I was not that great at managing people, or, I couldn't find the right team. And it was always the worst part of having the brick and mortar was managing the people. And finding the right people, be them professionals or support, it just seemed to be a struggle. And now with the Gen Zers, the millennials, the Gen Zers, they find me and they interview me. And the ones that I've hired, I am so pleased with, because I learn as much from them as they do me in a lot of times. I also have a blog, digthisdesign.net. So they certainly speak that language better than I do. And so they've taught me a lot of things, along with me teaching them the industry and design, which they're hungry to do. They're also, I feel, independent workers. They do not have to be micromanaged. It's the first generation that I've worked with that I didn't have to micromanage, and that actually they just jump in and try it, and they usually get it right. So it's exciting. And right now I have a Gen Zer sitting next to me, McKenna, and I also outsourced to a student who's in our last semester at East Carolina State University. She's finishing up. She'll be back to us in January. And then Stephanie Davis, who maybe some of you all have met, I outsource to her, and we work together on different things, from video, photography, and then also design. So everybody that I work with and that I have on my design team is quite a bit younger than me, but I find them a pleasure to work with.
All right, great. So let's go on to talk about your Voices from the Industry session at KBIS 2022. What can attendees expect?
Okay, so my title of the business is How to Diversify Your Business Offerings and Create Multiple Income Streams. And that, I guess I was motivated after the recession, like a lot of us were, having all our eggs in one basket. And from that moment on, first of all, I had the time to try different things, and I did that, and I started 3 internet companies, one of which is the blog. So I'll be talking about my journey in that. I'll be talking about what I've done throughout my career to expand, to go from a high-end kitchen and bath showroom at the beginning to whole house design, and going into interior design and getting my professional license there as well. So I've always expanded. Lighting design is another niche that I've carved out for myself, and each one of my niches is an income producing niche, be it through consult or whatever. For instance, lighting design is something that I can consult with somebody. I've done lighting design in California, never saw the place, but it's all mathematical, so it can be done. And not a lot of people measure lighting, but I do. So it's things like that help to develop multiple income streams. But you've got to learn it. So there's a time that you expand in a certain direction because you have interest in that. But a lot of people, I think, in design, are just thinking design or decorating. There's so many facets to it that one can go in, so many different directions that they can go. And what they don't realize is that they can actually charge for those services and make money, additional income streams, including the blog being one of those.
All right, great. Thank you. I'm going to move to Sarah Robertson, who is owner of Studio Dearborn in Hudson Valley, New York. Sarah is currently a brand ambassador or consultant for Decor, Samsung, California Faucets, Bradco Stainless, Strauch's of Walnut Creek, and Docking Drawer, and she is also on the Renovation Angel Board of Directors. Sarah, can you share with us the impetus for you to join the Renovation Angel Board of Directors?
Yeah, sure. I would love to. First of all, Chelsea, thank you so much for the nomination to be part of this group. It's so exciting, and all of you have such inspiring stories and achievements. So I just want to say thank you for including me. So Renovation Angel, Steve Feldman, who is the CEO, Steve and I first met 20 years ago when I was at that point a real estate developer, and he put a sign on the door of a home that we were getting ready to demolish. And Steve was just beginning to develop the company that's now Renovation Angel. And he was going around to homes and looking for materials that he could remove from homes before they were demolished. So he put a sign on the door, and I reached out to him and said, I'd love to work with you. But by the way, I used to work with a company in Chicago that did this very thing, and I would love to just share some of the things I'd learned about that, just from being involved with that company. So he and I, we sat down, we had lunch, we talked about basically recycling building products, and then we kind of went our separate ways. I started referring clients right away once he was up and running and taking kitchen donations, but he and I didn't really meet up again until KBB 3 years ago, I guess. I'd won a design award, and he came up and congratulated me and said, we should reconnect. So from that point forward, he and I have been pretty much in touch, monthly, talking about how he can grow his business, and really working on getting donations, because that, I think, is the biggest challenge right now for Renovation Angel, is just getting kitchens donated. He has the demand, he just doesn't have the supply line. And so I've been trying to work with him on how to reach designers and homeowners and convince them to donate their kitchens. So yeah, just being brought on the board was kind of a natural extension of all those conversations we're sort of having anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. So can you share with us how you've been able to be so successful on the TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest social media platforms?
Yeah, I'll start with Instagram. TikTok, I just kind of jumped on last year during COVID, and I just thought it would be fun. And it has been fun, but the big advantage, I think, with TikTok is it brings in a video component that you can then bring to other channels in social media. So but Instagram, I've run all my own social media accounts, and I kind of think that's important in a way, because I think it's important for you to be thinking about, what is the story that you want to tell. So I came up with these 3 catchwords. What are they? So relate, curate, and educate. So those are the 3 things that I am trying to do every day. First of all, relate. Like every post, I feel like, should relate to something that your followers are interested in, that's going to be helpful to them. So I try to, capture that thought with every single post I do, and how is this going to be helpful? And then the curating part is bringing together, is it photos that I have in my own portfolio? Is it inspiration photos? Is it a mix of both, to kind of tell the story and make the point that I'm trying to make? And then educate, which is, really bringing in a caption that captures what it is that I think is helpful. And of course, part of that is also being responsive to direct messages and listening to what people are saying and then responding to that. So sometimes, like the post I did yesterday, a lot of people responded and said, we'd like to see more of this. And so next week there will be more of that.
All right, I'm going to move to Markey Tuckett, who is owner of Timber and Plum in Windsor, Ontario. Markey says the main thing she learned during her career is that the age-old phrase, community over competition, is really the truth. Markey, can you tell us about the Stay Golden grant you created in 2020?
Yeah, so obviously when the pandemic hit, a lot of small businesses were struggling and panicking because they didn't really know what was going to happen and the uncertainty of basically the world. And I talked to a lot of small business owners that were financially troubled and didn't have anywhere to turn to, and they weren't able to apply for any funding from the government. So my team and I created a grant that would help a small business owner out and basically be able to give them their start. So we put a grant out there that was open to startups and anyone that owned a business that was under 3 years. It was $1,000 grant. So I took $1,000 of my own money, put it aside, and then offered them a 6-month mentorship. So for the application portion, they just had to basically tell us what their business was, what they were using the funding for, what their 5-year goals were, and some financial projections. And we were able to select a winner to win that. So the winner that won it last year, her business is just propelled forward so wonderfully. She was able to quit her full-time job, which she actually worked at for 25 years, and she's able to run a business with her family, and it's really blossomed for her. And it's really nice to see that my money and my mentorship really helped her out. And yeah, that's kind of what we planned for the grant. And it was something that I loved doing so much last year that I decided to kind of keep going with it and keep doing it again. So this year we're looking forward to doing that as well. So
on that note, I guess there's been one winner so far. So what's the update there? Will there be 2 winners this year, or how are you doing that?
So I'm trying to keep it a little under wraps until we announce it fully, but there is going to be 2 winners this year. So we are doubling down on our grant and offering 2 monetary awards and 2 mentorships. And we're actually going to expand our horizons outside of our community. So right now it was within Windsor, Essex, which is like a southern part of Ontario, and we're going kind of up a bit to another community, so hopefully we can help out a business in another community and just keep spreading the word and hopefully inspire someone else to take some action and help fellow small business owners. So yeah,
that sounds great. And last but not least, I'm going to move on to Nick Vanderhoevel, who is owner of Kitchen NV in Pinckney, Michigan. After 10 years working for his family business, Nick started his own business, and he is one of the youngest people in the country to receive his CMKBD. So Nick, tell us what it was like starting a business in the middle of the pandemic and what made you decide to do that.
Daunting, to say the least. The decision came down to my vision for my future. I knew I wanted to be a luxury kitchen designer, and my family wanted the best, or to be the best kitchen and bath in the area. Seemed like these goals were parallel, but over time, I was offering different services than my fellow designers, which was confusing clients and the referrals or friends. So you can get one service from one designer, but not another under the same roof. So I co-owned that company with my mom and brother. So we all had the discussion, decided I should venture out into the wilderness and chase my dream. So it just so happened to coincide with the global pandemic, partially frozen economy, and in the middle of building a 6,000 square foot showroom with them. So I automatically assumed I'd be putting up my own small boutique showroom after I left, but I feared what was happening in the market. And months went by and I continued working out of my home and presenting my ideas to clients versus having them visit my showroom and selecting finishes and things together, which is the standard model for kitchen design in our area of Michigan. And I quickly learned that the process was what my luxury clients seemed to gravitate towards. They wanted to be catered to, and they wanted to have things curated and created for them. So that was their unique experience. And I went from scarcity to drowning in new clients in under a year. And I've been up and running for a year and a half now, and things are just mind-blowingly busy.
That's what I'm hearing from a lot of people. So you say you believe in learning from your peers and vice versa. Can you share with us how that process works?
Yeah, it's quite simple, really. I know I couldn't possibly learn everything there is to know in this business on my own. I still learn something new every day, and I've been in this industry for a decade already. And I think I'll still be saying that 30 years from now. I mean, I read a book the other day that described it simply as standing on the shoulders of those who came before you. I mean, there's a chance they've faced many of the same challenges like I currently face, and have overcome them in their own unique ways. So why not ask them how they did it? Learning from others is like taking a staircase 2 steps at a time. I mean, you're heading in the same direction, just get there twice as fast.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So now I want to just find out what's on tap for everybody in the near future. And I will start with you, Cheryl. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, part of what we're doing, there's a lot going on. We are in the process of buying a warehouse, which is kind of exciting and scary all at the same time, but also working on growing my team in a certain direction, and then and getting them more publicity and more public relations and that sort of thing going on to really bring them up, so to speak, more, because we have a dynamic, exciting team. And then also we are expanding on the consulting end. I'm expanding into it's not really, fit for public consumption yet. So this is the first person I've really talked about it to, but focusing more on the entire, I'm a big idea person. So I want to focus on the entire business of some people that we work with, talking about their website, their marketing, everything, and then being able to handle a lot of that for them. So it's very consistent and cohesive, because that's one thing that has worked really well for my own firm, is being very consistent in our client experience and what we deliver. And that starts with your website to me. So I am putting this together where I'm working with other people in the industry, and we are going to do a really wonderful opportunity where we have the big idea is starting with me and consistent with everything that we're doing, and be able to offer that to designers that I work with now. So there's a lot of things along that line that are pretty exciting for me, because it's a kind of a new venture, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. So talk to me in a year from now, it might be something new and different. But I believe in bringing my team along with it. And we have 9 people, and pretty excited to add a 10th person to that in 2022 also. So that's another part of what we're looking to do. So I'm really excited about it. I think there's going to be really, really great in 2022. I'm a little cautious and apprehensive, like all people are right now, about business and that sort of thing. I mean, it's going really well, but you got to keep throwing those balls up in the air, So if you ask me what's on tap, it's throwing more balls in the air. That's what I'm doing. I'm juggling and throwing more balls in the air all the time.
All right, that sounds awesome. Jonathan, what about you? What's on tap for you and your brand in the near future?
What's on tap is to continue to innovate in the space of architectural drainage. It sounds like we hear this, wow, I never thought a drain was ugly until I saw one that was nice. So we hear that a lot. And the challenge is installation. So we have to listen to the marketplace. What is the best, fastest way to install that will be accepted by the installer community, and to bring those two things together? So that takes innovation and really listening to the marketplace. So we will continue to innovate and find what's needed in the space of linear architectural drainage.
Awesome. What about you, Patricia? What's on tap for you in the near future?
Well, I continue to diversify. I'm finishing up a luxury home property in the Bahamas right now. And so I'm going to be moving into renting that luxury home. It's in Treasure Cay. This will be my first time I've ever done anything like that. Again, another diversification, passive income, hopefully. But that's where my husband is today, and it's our anniversary. So our 36-year anniversary, he's over in the Bahamas still working on the house. The plan is to rent it out in the winter months, and the summer hopefully be able to use it. I also plan on, with my Gen Zers and my one millennial, being able to have them take on more of a role on project management, so that as I'm taking in these jobs with the developers, that I'm able to, have the meeting with the homeowner and then be able to hand it off for them to do the project management of it and be able to expand more like that. And that's my hope with that. Also freeing me up to do even more things, one would hope. And then as far as my blog goes, it's never ending surprise at how interesting a business that is. And I just keep learning the way, I guess. It's all new to me, that I keep following that path. and it's growing by leaps and bounds as a business, and it's a very passive business. So I'm going to keep exploring that because I like that. I'm not one for brick and mortar and a lot of employees. so those are my ideas of the future. Right now we are as busy as we can be. We've got 30 projects going right now, and I see no end in sight, which is good. But I've been in the business 37 years. I've seen it come to a complete halt. So that's one reason for my diversification. I hope that I'm well protected if that were to happen this time, that everything would still keep going due to having everything diversified.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sarah, what about you? What's on tap for you in the near future?
Oh, it's a lot more of the same. You know, I'm working on some great projects. I'm going to keep pushing along on social media, and I just hit 100K, which is really exciting on Instagram. And, you know, of course, I've got goals on the next number I want to hit and when, but who knows? We'll see what happens. But and then I've also been working on both the website and social media for a concept called Kitchen Confab, which is really about teaching both designers and homeowners, you know, a bit more about kitchen design, and creating a platform where other designers can come in and speak about those things that they feel that they're particularly well versed in. So I'm looking for contributors to that. I'm really excited about getting it off the ground. It's been slow going. I think it's right now everyone is so very busy with their businesses that getting people to contribute just kind of on a thought level is really hard. So but that's what we're kind of pushing for. And yeah, I'm super excited about it, and hopefully getting that off the ground soon.
All right. Yeah, definitely keep us posted. Markey, what about you? What's on tap for you in the near future?
Just keep working away at the bulk of clients I have. My business is just over 3 years old, and I didn't think it would ever be this busy, but it is. So I'm just keep plugging away and hopefully growing my team so that we can take on more work. And finally finish up my showroom. It's been under construction for over a year, and there's been so many delays and time taken away from finishing that. So I'm hoping to finish that up and keep going, and hopefully score some partnerships in the near future. That's about it.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. And Nick, let us know what's on tap for you in the near future.
Right, so I'm sworn to secrecy on what exactly that is, but I can say that I sold my house last night and I'm heading towards a new market.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today so that our readers and followers could get more information on why you were all chosen for our 2021 Person of the Year initiative. Congratulations to everyone. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication. And we can't wait to get an update for what's going on with you soon. And we'll definitely be able to see you all at KBB in February.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Great. Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Thank you.